I'm sitting here, waiting to die, and I finally understand what I lost. It wasn't money. It wasn't health. It was me. The real me. The girl who dreamed of Paris and poetry. I traded her for approval. And now, she's gone. My name is Eleanor. I am 76 years old. I am sitting in a house that is spotless, perfectly decorated, and completely empty of joy. The throw pillows are fluffed. The dishes are put away. The garden is pruned. Everything is exactly as it should be. Except me. I am a ghost in my own life. A performer who stayed on stage so long I forgot it was a performance. In exactly 1 hour, my daughter will arrive to take me to hospice. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. The doctors say I have weeks, maybe days. And as I sit here in this immaculate living room, surrounded by a life that looks perfect from the outside, I realize the devastating truth. I have no idea who I am. I spent 76 years being who everyone else needed me to be. The obedient daughter. The supportive wife. The selfless mother. The pleasant neighbor. I was so good at playing those roles that I forgot they were roles. And now, the curtain is closing, and I never got to meet the woman I was supposed to become. If you are listening to this, and you are about to say yes to something you don't want to do because you're afraid of disappointing someone, please listen closely. If you want to learn from my scars so you don't have to die wondering who you could have been, join this community by subscribing. It's a promise to your future self that you will choose authenticity over applause. It started with obedience. I was raised in the 1950s, in a small town in Ohio. Girls were taught one commandment above all others: be pleasant. Don't make waves. Don't raise your voice. Don't want too much. My mother used to say, smoothing her apron, "Eleanor, a woman's job is to make life easier for others. If you're selfish, you'll end up alone." I internalized that like scripture. I became a master of self-erasure. I learned to sense what people wanted from me before they even asked, and I delivered it with a smile. I was good. So good. I got straight A's because my father wanted a smart daughter. I joined the church choir because my mother wanted a godly daughter. I dated the boy my parents approved of because they wanted a suitable son-in-law. I was a marionette, and everyone around me held a string. But here's the thing. I had a secret. A dangerous, beautiful secret. I wanted something else. I remember the specific moment when I buried that secret alive. I was 18. It was summer, just before my senior year of high school. I was sitting in the town library, where I spent every free moment I could steal. I loved books. Not the romance novels my mother read. I loved Hemingway, Fitzgerald, Woolf. I wanted to write like them. I wanted to live like them. I had a journal, a cheap spiral notebook with a blue cover, hidden under my mattress. And one night, by flashlight, I wrote in bold teenage handwriting, "I am going to be a writer. I am going to move to Paris. I am going to live a life that is mine." I felt so alive writing those words. My heart was pounding. It felt like a revolution. The next morning, my mother found the journal while changing my sheets. She read it. And at dinner, in front of my father and my 2 younger brothers, she placed it on the table. "Eleanor," she said, her voice tight and cold, "this is foolishness. Selfish, childish foolishness. Paris? Writing? You are not special, Eleanor. You are a girl from Ohio. You will go to the state college. You will major in teaching or nursing. You will marry a good man. You will raise children. That is your purpose. Do you understand?" I looked at my father. He said nothing. He just looked at me with disappointment. Like I had let him down. I was 18. I was terrified of being unloved. So I said the word that would define the next 58 years of my life. Yes. I said yes. I went to state college. I majored in teaching. I dated Daniel, the son of my father's business partner. He was nice, stable, boring, but he was approved. So when he proposed at 21, I said yes. I wanted to say no. My entire soul screamed no. But I smiled. I said yes. We got married. I became Mrs. Daniel Whitmore. I stopped being Eleanor. I became Danny's wife. I taught 3rd grade for 3 years until I got pregnant. Then I became the kids' mom. I had 3 children. I loved them, but I also resented them, and I hated myself for that resentment. They didn't ask to be born into my unlived life. The gradual loss was invisible because I was praised every step of the way. Eleanor is such a good mother. Eleanor always volunteers. Eleanor's house is immaculate. Eleanor never complains. Every compliment was a nail in the coffin of the girl who wanted Paris. I became addicted to approval. It was the only fuel I knew. So I kept performing. I said yes to every PTA meeting. Yes to hosting every holiday. Yes to caring for my aging parents. Yes to staying in a marriage that was polite but passionless. Yes, yes, yes. But what happened next destroyed everything I thought I knew about myself. I turned 65. Daniel retired. The kids were grown, scattered across the country with their own lives. And suddenly I had time. Empty, yawning time. Daniel wanted to travel. Let's see the country, Ellie. Get an RV. I hated the idea, but I said yes. We drove to national parks. I smiled in photos. I cooked in the tiny RV kitchen. I was pleasant, but inside I was screaming, because I realized I didn't know what I wanted. I had spent 65 years asking, "What do you want, honey? What do the kids want? What do you think we should do, Mom?" That I had never once asked myself, "What do I want?" I didn't know. The question terrified me. It was like looking into a dark, empty well. If this story feels heavy in your chest, please share it. Send it to the daughter who always says yes. The wife who's lost under the weight of everyone's expectations. The friend who fears being called selfish. You might save someone who is making the same mistake right now. Someone who doesn't realize that you cannot pour from an empty cup, and I am bone dry. The realization hit me 2 years ago. Daniel passed away. Heart attack. Quick. I became a widow at 74. And people said, "At least you have your memories." But I didn't. I had his memories. His trips. His choices. His life. I had been a supporting character in someone else's story for so long, I didn't have my own. I was cleaning out the attic after the funeral. And I found it. The blue spiral notebook. Buried in a box of old schoolwork. I sat on the dusty floor and read the words of 18-year-old Eleanor. I am going to be a writer. I am going to move to Paris. I wept. Not polite, quiet tears. I wailed. I mourned her. The girl I killed to make everyone else comfortable. I had betrayed her. I had silenced her voice, her dreams, her fire, all so people would call me good. And now I'm 76. And Paris is still just a word on a page. And now, the cancer is here. The doctor was kind but blunt. Months, Eleanor. Maybe weeks. And I nodded. Pleasant to the end. If I had only 1 hour left. And I do. My daughter will be here soon. I am not going to clean the house one more time. I am not going to write thank you notes for the casserole dishes. I am going to do something I have never done in 76 years. I am going to be selfish. I am going to take out a piece of paper. My hands are shaking. but I will write. Not a to-do list. Not a grocery list. A story. Just one page. The first page of the novel I never wrote. It will be terrible. It will be clumsy. I don't care. It will be mine. And I am going to open my laptop. I am going to look at flights to Paris. I know I can't go. My body is too weak. But I am going to book one anyway. One way. Leaving tomorrow. I will never board the plane. But for 1 hour, I will live in the possibility. And I will write a letter. To 18-year-old Eleanor. I will say, "Dear Ellie, I'm so sorry. I was supposed to protect you. I was supposed to fight for you. But I was scared. I chose safety over truth. I chose approval over identity. I killed you slowly, with 1,000 yes I didn't mean. But I need you to know, you were right. Your dreams were not foolish. Your voice was not selfish. You deserved to take up space. You deserved to disappoint people in pursuit of your own soul. I wish I could go back and tell you, be loud. Be difficult. Be free. The people who love you for real will stay. The ones who only love your compliance were never yours to begin with. I failed you. But maybe someone reading this won't fail the girl inside them. I will spend my final hour not as Eleanor Whitmore, beloved wife and mother, but as Ellie. Just Ellie. The writer. The dreamer. The girl who wanted Paris. My friend, you who are listening. Ask yourself right now, whose life am I living? If every choice you make is based on what someone else expects, you are not living. You are haunting. Say no. Disappoint someone today. Risk being called selfish. Because the alternative is dying having never met yourself. Now, I ask you, if you had only 1 hour left, what dream would you finally give yourself permission to want? What would you do if no one was watching? If no one's approval mattered? Tell me in the comments. Let's make this comment section a library of truth, a testament to the lives we will no longer postpone for applause. Write it down. Make it real. And then, for God's sake, do it. Be selfish. Be gloriously, unapologetically yourself. My daughter is pulling into the driveway. I see her car. But for 1 more minute, I'm not her mother. I'm not anyone's anything. I'm just Ellie. Goodbye. And please, be yourself.